Hi guys, it's Amy, your golf coach. Welcome to Seniors Must Do series. In this series, we're going to find out how to maximize your performance on the golf course and how to work around your physical limitations or injuries or any other bodily conditions you may have going to help you enjoy this beautiful game of golf as long as you choose to instead of your body chooses to. Today is the first episode, so we're gonna learn in depth about your joint health in relation to your golf swings. So I'll be interviewing a doctor. You guys know I have gone through several different back injuries, severe ones, and I've been in a lot of pain for several years for this. And Dr. Clements, who I'll be interviewing today, has really fixed my back. I think what really sets him apart is that he was a former ice hockey player and he's a great golfer. So he really has a good grasp of the whole mechanics and how the body works. So I think that's why he was truly able to help me out, and he's really great at what he does. So I'm really excited about today's interview. I'm like ready to learn. I hope you guys are too. So let's just go straight into the interview. This is Dr. Corey. I call him Dr. Corey, but Dr. Corey Clements.
Right.
This is the doctor that fixed my back, and we go way back. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So we've started Seniors Must Do series. This is specifically for senior golfers with physical limitations or just simply, body changing with aging, right? So we just want to pick your brains on your expertise. But before we do that, let's talk about you a little bit.
Sure. I've been a chiropractor 23 years, so I kind of know this profession. As a hockey player many years ago, found that the mechanics of golf work really well with hockey. So learning my golf swing really helped enhance my hockey career, which I made it to the highest level. During that time, I found there was many injuries that I sustained. And so I found chiropractic was a great way to help my sports injuries.
I've worked with many different chiros that's worked with tour pros in Orlando. I've had a lot of experiences, and you're really good at what you do. I think it's because you had personal experience as an athlete yourself, and you know about all these sports injuries like you've mentioned. But I'm just like really amazed and fascinated by like what you do differently.
I found that in this job, comes down to understanding the injury and knowing how did it happen and what are you going to do now to make it better, and how can you teach the patient to go back to their activity and not cause the same problem. Right,
because you do the treatment, but we do have to maintain our body, right?
Yeah, so today I want to really explain how do we prevent golf injuries. And I have golfers now in their 90s, and they're really enjoying golf. They're playing it at their level, because as we age, we have to know where our bodies, what they can handle and what they can't.
Right.
We have to realize that we all get arthritis. And part of this talk we'll be discussing when arthritis starts to grow in your body, well, what can you do to counteract it so you can continue to enjoy the game and not have the pain of arthritis now sideline you.
Can we jump right into that? Talk about arthritis, how it happens, and how it affects golf and your health.
It's simple. Arthritis comes from two things: tension and time. So we can't change time, but you can change the tension on your bodies. And so as our joints get tighter, and now you're doing the same thing repetitively like a golf swing, you're rubbing the joint back and forth, and pretty soon you're wearing that joint out. If it's too tight, as a chiropractor, I'm going to loosen the joint.
Right.
So as that friction occurs from the golf swing, there's no extra rubbing, there's no wear and tear, leading to what we call erosion of the joints.
So it's very common to get arthritis when you get older, but can golfing the wrong way promote it more?
So this is where it's so important to know your body and to understand where has arthritis started. When we get arthritis, the first place in the human body we get it is the base of the thumb.
Right here.
And so that's why now we need to talk about grips and gripping the club, because as we get older, you're going to find a thinner club is harder to grip with arthritis.
I see.
Because your joints don't have that flexibility that they used to have.
That's new information. I like it.
And so now what we see is, you probably notice on the senior tour, some of these puttering, they have such large grips and they're very soft and squishy. Because then you don't have to grip the club so hard.
Less pressure in your grip.
Because you feel like you have a hold of it.
Oh, that's
And it's not going to slip in your hand because you don't have to grip it so hard. And that tension from gripping so hard, remember, tension and time equals arthritis, that will create a flare-up.
Too much tension and doing it over and over and over, that'll cause arthritis.
And then arthritis will wake up.
Ah, what I love about this is that I focus on grip so much, the tension. You know, I always tell them to have less tension in your hands because it leads to arms easy swing. But now I have to focus on it even more because it can flare up arthritis. And I love how you started the whole thing with the grip first.
Well, it is important because in the golf swing, where are the smallest muscles? In your golf swing, they're in your hands. These muscles are very, very fragile. And many pro golfers that injure their wrist, they're sidelined because they can't practice.
You know what? I used to get fun of when I was in college because I'll get finger injuries and I'll be out for months, and then they'll make fun of me for coming into training rooms. Like the football players will be like, you got what? Finger injury, you're out? But these are the biggest injuries for golfers.
They're not supported well because the muscles are small, and they're being used so much in the golf swing that you have to really focus on what your hands are doing when you're swinging.
Man, I just remembered this joint took me 3 years to heal. Horrible.
The further the tissue is from your heart, the longer it takes to heal. So your hands and feet heal the slowest.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, so for arthritis, you mentioned a lighter grip, and then thicker and softer grip would help ease up the tension.
In your hands, yes.
Yes.
Paramount for arthritis is learning to warm up.
Oh.
So tension can come from being cold.
Really?
And a lot of golfers who are older love to go out and get that 6 a.m. tee time.
Yes.
And you get out there and you're cold.
Yes.
But you're like, well, it's going to be warm in 2 hours. And their body is so tight because it's cold. There's your tension. And if you start to swing too aggressively when your body is that tense, you're going to wake up the arthritis. It's going to swell up. And then you're going to have pain and weakness. And if you want to prevent injuries, then you have to take the extra time because your body isn't 18. And getting to the course a little bit early, going out and stretching and starting to warm up, I recommend using your small irons first.
Okay.
And the small irons, they don't have to swing as hard, and there's less torque on your joints.
I do that too. I start from wedges and move up. Do you have any suggestions for stretching your hands, fingers?
So hands need to be warm. So you want your hands warm. So if your hands are too cold and you can actually feel they're cold.
My hands are usually cold.
You need to get them warmer. So trying to find ways to have your hands warm. So how can you heat up your hands if you're on the golf course? Doing a little bit of cardio before you play. Now what you're doing is you're heating up the blood in your body.
So it's flowing
And the
more.
circulation of the warm blood will go into your hands and they'll warm your hands and joints up.
And the joints won't be too like stiff and cold.
Correct. So that's where a lot of pro athletes will go and do cardio before their event to get blood flowing, to get everything warmed up. The muscles will be more flexible.
Yes.
And it lowers the risk of injury by a lot.
Would you suggest any cardio for older senior golfers?
So, for example, you could be doing walks around the parking lot. You could be showing up earlier, doing some jumping jacks. You could just something that increases your heart rate.
Just move to get the heart rate going a little bit.
When the heart rate goes up and you start warming up, you'll notice that everything will start to loosen up, and now you're going to prevent those injuries that are going to sideline you and not allow you to enjoy the game.
Nice. So get to the golf course early, warm up, get the blood flowing so you're not cold, and then start warming up with shorter irons and move up. And then that's really going to help you to, you know, kind of prevent the arthritis to flare up so early in your career.
Another thing that's helpful when you get older is using carts.
Like carts.
Carts. So a lot of people want to have exercise when they're golfing.
A lot of them walk.
And walking actually fatigues you. And so now when your body gets tired, lactic acid forms in your muscles and now tension grows. And what are we afraid of when we're golfing is tension. And so now your muscles are getting tired, and so now you're on the 15th, 16th hole, now your muscles are starting to tighten up. And now your joints are being compressed. And now that is going to start to agitate the arthritis. And then you're going to wonder why by the 15th, 16th, 17th, now the 18th hole, your swing is all over the place. You're wondering why your game is falling apart. And it's because your arthritis is waking up because you're tired.
I thought, you know, being a doctor, I thought you were gonna suggest to like walk to play because it's good exercise, but it's like the total opposite.
So this is what Jack Nicklaus said.
Okay, I love it.
This is a quote from Jack Nicklaus himself. He says, professional golfers condition themselves to play golf. So they don't work out on the course. They're working out before they play. They come to the game conditioned.
Yes.
They don't need exercise on the course.
Right.
Right? But they're forced to walk because now conditioning is a part of the game. Because it gets harder as you walk longer because your muscles get tired. So to play a full 18 holes is a challenge of endurance. Jack Nicklaus said, amateurs play golf to get conditioned. Well, we want to change that thinking and realize you need to work out to be a good golfer.
Right.
So you need to be conditioning your body, you need to get in shape and have endurance so that your body can handle all 18 holes and not cause more damage, which if you're playing fatigued, your arthritis is going to be getting worse every round you play.
When I talk to golfers, I ask them if they ever work out and they're like, yeah, I golf. And I'm like, no, I mean, golf is not an exercise. You have to like you said, prepare your body so your body can handle all that torquing and walking and all that endurance good stuff. And it's really amazing how many amateur golfers who say, yes, I exercise, I golf. It blows my mind. And now it's just like a confirmation of like what I was thinking in my head is correct.
And you have to look at the pros.
It was Tiger Woods that kind of changed everything,
and then
right?
all of a sudden, these younger golfers came up and said, well, I'm going to start making my body so strong so I can hit the ball farther. I'm having more endurance so I can play 4 days of golf and not be tired on the 4th day and lose. That now they're actually able to play just as well on that 4th day as they do the 1st day because they're in great shape.
It's amazing.
And these younger golfers have really started to push the game to be a lot more competitive than it used to be.
Yeah, and they look more like athletes these days.